You never know when something you read about and see about happening all the time that you think would never ever happen to you does. And it literally makes you lose your faith in all humanity, and it just makes you feel disgusted and terrified and just shaken to your core. Cindy and I took the kids to Rivergate, and we went to 3 different places, and a man followed us to all 3 locations, and the first location obviously didn't seem weird. And then the second location, I didn't notice the guy until like halfway through, and still just thought of it as a coincidence because I would never, think that of someone. And then followed us to Walmart, and we were in Walmart for 45 minutes, and there were multiple lanes open, and the same guy in the 3rd location gets in checkout line with 1 single drink after 45 minutes. And the thing that made me realize what was happening and what was going on is the cashier said, "Is this your notebook?" And I turned around and saw the guy, and I jumped. And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you." And I said, "We just saw you." And he said, "I know," and just dead stared at me. And he had a little orange notebook with a pen and 2 cell phones sitting on top of them. One was a flip phone, one was like a smartphone. And that's when I knew that this guy had been following us for 2.5 hours. And the fear set in. I'm super socially awkward as it is, and I'm not very good at talking, even when it's just to myself to a phone. But Cindy and I realized what was going on, and of course probably didn't make the best decision. We should have just called the cops right then and there. But I asked her what we should do, and she just said to keep walking and to try to see what vehicle he got into, to try to get like a license plate number and everything. Guy followed us out, waited for both of us to get, all 5 kids into the car and get all of our stuff into the car. Waited for us to get in the car, which means he sat in the car for a good 5 minutes and then followed us out. And this is where things took a very dangerous turn. So Cindy was in front of me, and the guy was behind me, and he was so close to me that I couldn't even see his tail lights, so he was like bumper to bumper with me. And when I would try to get off on an exit, he would speed up to my right side and hit my car, causing me to not be able to get off of the exit. And he did that for 3 exits until I finally called 911 and started telling them everything that happened from the whole night. And I mean, Tyler's car has scratches and stuff on it from the guy doing it. It's just so insane. I mean, obviously once I pulled into a gas station here in Gallatin, and the guy took off. And then even if he was anywhere around when he saw a cop show up, I'm sure he took off. But it's just so crazy to sit here after the shock of it all and think of every single moment in that 2.5 hours. How I could have made one decision different and one of my kids could be gone. And how there's people that are so disgusting and vile, and literally that guy spent 2.5 hours following us around, probably taking pictures of my kids, and it's heartbreaking. So now I'm sitting here with all 3 kids asleep, and I'm here by myself, and my stomach is just in knots thinking about if Cindy had been alone with her 2 kids, or if I had been alone with my girls, or if we'd just not put them in carts, or It's one decision different that we would have made could have been the deciding factor of me never seeing one of my kids ever again. And that's so terrifying. And to just know that that has happened so often, and there's just people that walk around with the intentions like that. Like, how do I go out and do anything? Like, how do I go to the grocery store? How do I take my kids to the park? It's just hitting me now, and it's just crazy. Everyone who knows me knows that my girls are my world, and I know it's like that with every parent. But I'm just so tender-hearted and so sensitive when it comes to my parenting and to the girls, and to think that this guy, like, looked at my kids and took pictures of my girls and probably was talking to someone about, like, the description of my kids and, like, which one to take, and it's revolting, and my stomach's like in knots. To think that this guy has, like, pictures of them, and I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. It's like all hitting me now. So that's my night. Just a night out with my best friend and my kids could have turned into a tragedy. And I've, like, seen videos on Facebook of, like, kids being grabbed and with their parent right next to them, and sitting here thinking about that this guy